Hi, I'm Don Carr, and this is the Supro Saturn Reverb. As you probably know by now, the Supro name has been recently resurrected, and man, they are making some great amps. And this is the latest offering, the Saturn Reverb. It's a 15-watt single-channel amp with reverb and tremolo. So as you can see, it's a really straightforward amp. Got a single input and volume, treble, bass, reverb, and your speed and depth control for your tremolo. Got a standby switch and an on-off switch. Man, I mean, it's just straight up, straightforward, but it really sounds great, as you heard in the intro. A pair of 6973 power tubes to run the power section. There's a 5U4 rectifier tube, and for the preamp, there are 4 12AX7s. There's actually a 12AT7 that runs the reverb, and the reverb is a 4-spring reverb. And to finish off this entire tube complement, the tremolo is actually power tube driven. All right, let's twist some knobs and give this thing a listen. Today I'm playing a PRS 513, which I like for the versatility, single coil and humbucker sounds. So here we are with the current settings. I've got just a little bit of verb on. Right, a nice, really big, thick, complex sound with just a little bit of breakup on the top end of it. And that's one of the things about this amp is it's got a lot of nice headroom. Like any amp with a single volume control, it controls the gain and the volume, so the more you turn it up, the more saturated and the more compressed it gets. So let's listen to it down a little bit lower. Right, still rich and big and has all that complexity, just not quite as saturated. Turn it up a little bit, about halfway here. Start to get more chime, again, more breakup. And turning it up, let's go all the way. Again, a lot more saturation, but it breaks up really nicely and cleans up really nicely, which makes this an excellent amp for taking pedals. I turn it back down to kind of the midpoint for me where it sounds like it's just starting to break up. And we're going to listen to the treble and the bass controls. Right, it's got lots of sparkle, lots of chime. Turn it up. Or turn it down. So the treble control is also voiced in the spot where it does affect the breakup. Same thing with the bass control. There's a ton of bass in this amp, especially for a small power section like this. I think the Supro D12 and probably the cabinet design has a lot to do with that. I'm starting with the bass at roughly 10 o'clock. That's where it's been the whole time, so we'll give that a listen. Turn it up to 2. And then finally turn it up to 3 o'clock. Really nicely voiced. The verb is really deep and complex as well, but it doesn't get in the way of the guitar tone, which is kind of the whole point. Just accentuates it. So you can get the halo, or you can kind of like crank it up and go into surf territory. I'm going to crank it up here to about 2 o'clock. The tremolo, as you heard in the intro, is really smooth and buttery. I had it slow and a pretty high depth setting for the intro, so let's start there and give that a listen. Right, or you can speed it up considerably. Or you can go into full-on stutter mode. Or if you run it really shallow, it's just barely there. Definitely got to say this about this amp. The amount of clean headroom that it has is just perfect for taking pedals. I've got a Boss Wazacraft Blues driver hooked up here, and we'll check that out. So there you have it, the Supro Saturn Reverb. It's a great sounding amp, man. Great looking amp too. All the Supros look great. If you have any questions about this or any other Supro product, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. I got so excited, I didn't even play anything with single coils. So here I'm gonna do front pickup single coil for the outro. Thanks.